Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 8 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is Stealing Thunder. In this episode, Lincoln cast Lynn to be his stunt double for a movie he and Clyde are making for a student film festival, but Lincoln takes credit for Lynn's performance and Chandler sets out to prove Lincoln's praise from his classmates is unwarranted. The best way to describe this episode is that the story really lives up to its title and how the central premise is similar, although not exactly the same, to the Season 6 episode Stroke of Luck. Lincoln doesn't want to get hurt when making his David Steele fan film while Clyde works the camera and Flip and Nacho play the villains. That's when Lincoln turned to Lynn, the most athletic one of the family, to be a stunt double in the action-packed climax of the movie, which involved fighting, jumping, and falling from moving airplanes and then wrestling an alligator. Everyone at the middle school assumed Lincoln performed all those crazy stunts and they give him the celebrity treatment with Lincoln fully embracing it. The way Lincoln soaked in all the glory reminded me of how big-time actors usually get all the credit for their performances and their stunt doubles go completely unrecognized. I don't know if that was the intention the writers were going for, but this does tie into one of my critiques, which I also consider a big missed opportunity. Lynn is never seen after she performs her stunts for the film. In storyline, she leaves for a roller derby tournament the day after filming was completed. To be honest, she should have been around to witness her brother being praised for the stunts they both knew he didn't actually do, and then get Lincoln to admit he was lying to his classmates and later show who really performed the stunts in the movie. Lynn would have been a much better fit for the role of the character wanting to uncover the truth compared to Chandler. Speaking of whom, Chandler is rather annoyed with Lincoln getting all kinds of love from his classmates, and he later suspects Lincoln didn't perform any of those dangerous stunts when he sees Lincoln trip and fall over in the gym. Chandler finds proof that Lincoln was not the one wrestling the alligator and planned to share his findings with the school, but Lincoln and Clyde delete the evidence before anyone can see it. So then Chandler decides to have Lincoln recreate the climax of the movie, saying that if Lincoln could do all those crazy stunts the first time, then he could easily do them again without fail. This is where we come to the ending, and honestly, I was not impressed with it. Lincoln planned on coming clean so he wouldn't have to go through with the task Chandler wanted him to do, but he accidentally signaled Flip to take off into the sky. He was forced to jump from one plane to another and then frantically avoid wrestling the alligator, and of course he was freaking out and screaming the whole time. Basically, he looked like an uncoordinated coward, and yet somehow his classmates were still amazed at what he did, even though it was nothing like what they saw in the movie. Yeah, I know Clyde said Lincoln kinda did the stunt, and he still managed to survive falling from an airplane, but the fact is, his real-life performance was the opposite of how it was depicted in the movie. His classmates should have been confused as to why Lincoln was screaming and using a parachute in real life when that never happened in the movie. A bigger disappointment is Lincoln said he was going to admit to being a liar, but he never followed through on it. While Lori was mature enough to own up to her mistakes in the episode Stroke of Luck, Lincoln never makes a heartfelt confession to his classmates for having them believe in something that wasn't true. Yeah, maybe Lincoln falling from an airplane was punishment enough, but the episode ends with the middle schooler still gushing over Lincoln for what he just did, even though it was nothing like they saw in the movie. Lincoln technically still comes out as a winner, a very undeserving winner mind you, and Chandler comes out as a loser despite the latter proving the former was a phony who didn't deserve all the love and attention from his peers. In a weird way, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but you kind of feel bad for Chandler because he was never wrong about Lincoln being a fraud and yet he still walked away defeated. I guess there's a first time for everything, including taking pity on a jerk like Chandler. Overall, this episode was good in some areas, but also underwhelming in others. Similar to the episode Stroke of Luck, Lincoln took credit for a performance he knew he didn't do but couldn't resist the admiration from his classmates. He exposes himself as a fake, never admits to his deception, everyone still loves him despite the less than accurate recreation of the big action scene from his movie, and Chandler's attempt to prove he was right about Lincoln using a stunt double backfired. Had Lynn taken Chandler's role, and if Lincoln publicly confessed to not doing his own stunts in the movie, this episode could have been so much better. Instead, the story concludes with Lincoln saying his stunt days are over and vowing to never lie or exaggerate ever again. Yeah, we'll see about that last one. My favorite part of the episode was Lynn performing all the dangerous stunts in Lincoln and Clyde's movie. Besides that, and the part where Lincoln showed a video of Chandler crying while riding on a pony, there really aren't too many positives I can think of. One little eye-catcher I noticed was how the Clink and McCloud production card used in this episode is the same one from the episode Cooked, the only difference being the colors used on the card. Why the second card still uses the Roman numeral for the year 2018 just like the first card from Cooked, I'll never understand. In short, this is one Lincoln-centered episode that had the opportunity need to make the story more compelling, which would then lead to a more sensible and satisfying ending. Still, I won't say this is a bad episode. It's just a different take on Stroke of Luck, only not as good in my opinion. With that said, I give Stealing Thunder a 7 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Stealing Thunder. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.